Hey y'all, welcome to the Career and Technical Education Podcast. I'm Brandon Grace. I'm here with Randall Hust and Christy Reeves, and we're here to talk about some partnerships.
All right, so as you guys know, a big part of career and technical education is our community partnerships. It's really what makes the world go round. And here at Lubbock ISD, we have been so blessed to have a very, very strong partnership with Habitat for Humanity. Christy is the executive director of Habitat for Humanity here in Lubbock. And so we decided this would be a great interview to get to just talk about the partnership. And so, Christy, would you, to start off with, just tell us about what Habitat for Humanity is, what you guys do? I can't tell you how many kids, obviously students, that I meet that really don't even know what it's all about. So talk to us about what Habitat is.
Well, thanks, Randall, for having me. We love everything LISD does. We love this program, so it's a pleasure to be here. Lubbock Habitat for Humanity is a Christian-based, nonprofit, affordable housing ministry. And so the vision for Habitat for Humanity is a world where everybody has a decent place to live, which shouldn't be that hard, but it is hard. And the need for affordable housing is really at a crisis level everywhere, including Lubbock. So in Lubbock, our mission is bringing people together to build homes, communities, and hope. And we build houses using volunteers, students, people who shouldn't really know how to build a house. We teach them how. And then we fund that through the community, churches, anywhere we can get the money. And anybody can apply for these houses. They come to a workshop. We're having one December 5th at Broadway Church of Christ. We have them all the time. Anybody who thinks they would love to be a homeowner, but they just can't qualify the regular way. It's expensive. Takes a lot of income. People work hard, they have income, but maybe not enough. Maybe somebody made a bad choice in their lives. Maybe they had to serve some time. They may need a second chance. These are people who could seek out a Habitat house if they're willing to come to the workshop, find out, if they have an income, they can qualify. They can fill out the application. That's a big deal. If they turn it in, and then our volunteer committee thinks, wow, they might be a great candidate. They interview them, it goes well. They can get in the program just as easy as that. They just have to be willing to work. They have to come to class, learn how to pay a mortgage. They have to learn how to manage their money, financial literacy, learn how to do a budget, pay off their debt. They need to learn how to maintain their house. They need to learn about, insurance and appraisals and all kinds of things I didn't know about when I became a homeowner. It's great stuff. And then they have to help build a house. They have to do 100 hours of construction in addition to the 150 hours of education classes. They have to save a little down payment. We have to finish the house. When we get all of that done and, they get reapproved, make sure they didn't go buy a car, do something they weren't supposed to do while they're saving for their house. Then we're ready to close. We close on the house at the title company. We do a great dedication ceremony, and they become a Habitat homeowner. We become their mortgage lender, and then they pay Habitat in Lubbock a no-interest affordable mortgage based on their income. And it changes their lives and the lives of their children forever. So that's what we're doing.
So they still have a mortgage. This is not a free home. I think that's a big misconception that a lot of folks have. So they still are paying for their home just like everybody else. They've just gone through some other qualifications to get there, right?
Right. These are just people that are smart. They work, they have income, or maybe they have disability income, but they know that every day they're just paying rent. They're not building equity. They don't have as much to show for it. They want that security and that stability that every homeowner wants, and they deserve it. They do the jobs that we need them to do. These are the people that are checking you out at the grocery store. These are the people that are coming to your car at Sonic. These are the people that are doing the maintenance at the hospital. People who have all these really great jobs in Lubbock that absolutely need to be done. They work hard, long hours. They make good money. It's just really hard to qualify for a house sometimes. Right now it's a hard time. So we want to give them a chance to do what everybody else is doing and do something great for their family or themselves. And they're going to pay a mortgage. It's just a no-interest mortgage, and it's based on their income, not the cost of the house. We raise the money to front the cost of the house and get, students, volunteers, all these great people to build it. And that's how we're able to give them this affordable housing. And they'll have a 30-year mortgage. They can pay it off a little early, or they can pay it out. And it's a relationship that we have with them for 30 years. And it's just wonderful to see them change, their children's lives change, and see these communities and neighborhoods grow. And it's just transformative for everybody involved. And it is a real blessing to be a part of it.
That's so awesome. How long has Habitat been around?
1987 in Lubbock. It was originally started in the South by a Bible scholar and then a guy named Millard Fuller. They just really hated seeing what was going on in the South. The Ku Klux Klan was there. It was a really tough time in our history, and they hated seeing the racial inequality and what was going on. So they were like, what could we do to get people to learn to work together and come together? And what is something we could do, give everybody a decent place to live? It kind of evolved that way. So that's kind of why it started. And it's just grown. And the first Habitat house in the U.S. Was built in San Antonio, Texas. So, and Lubbock started in 1987 and has just really built, over 150 homes. Wow. I think it just keeps growing fast now. God has been blessing us, and the community's been blessing us. So it's going faster now. And we just want to build more. The more money, the more volunteers, the more time that people are willing to give, and money they're willing to give, the faster we can do it. And we are happy to meet that need. We just need everyone to give us a little bit of something, right? And we'll do it.
Right. So how did the partnership begin with Lubbock ISD, and when did that happen?
I think it was 1999. Randall and I have figured, we dug into the archives, Randall did, but a lot of this happened before our time. But I think it was just such a great move. It's just such a smart thing. We need people to go into construction and promote the trades. People need jobs, and houses need to be built. So why not put those two things together? That's a labor force, and it's a teaching tool. And it's wonderful to do things related to education and kids. And so I think it just grew from there. I know there was a foundation that would support it financially that continues to do so as much as they can. And, it's just grown. And, of course, as this wonderful program you have continues to grow, I think that's made it more exciting.
Mm-hmm. For sure. When I came in 10 years ago, obviously this partnership had already been going on. And so one of the things that I saw as I talked to construction technology teachers across the state was that a lot of them were teaching the standards by building dog houses or building sheds or things like that, or mock walls in the shop or whatever. And to see the difference that it made in our students to be able to participate and build an actual house. And then, at the time, right now, all the Habitat houses are going into a subdivision in one particular area, but at the time they were like really close. As a matter of fact, there's one a few blocks from here. And so a lot of the students would know kids that were living in houses that had been built by Lubbock ISD. So there was just this real tight connection, and they would be able to walk by these houses on their way and see stuff that was actually built by Lubbock ISD students. And it just made it very real for them. And then not only that, but then on the technical side, being able to actually frame a house, right? And so you see all the different elements all the way from the subfloor all the way up to the roof. And so I would say it greatly enhanced the quality of our program. And hopefully the partnership has been mutually beneficial, I hope. How many houses do you guys have going on at any given time, even outside of our house?
Well, our goal when I came 5 years ago was 4 to 6 houses a year, but we've had 9 under construction this fiscal year. Wow. So it's going faster. We started the Blitz build back. They used to do like 20 years ago. That had kind of died away. We brought it back. So now we try to build 3 houses in like 12 to 13 days around Labor Day every year. People like to travel on Labor Day since COVID. I thought, wow, when we started in 2020, aren't people nice? They give up their holiday. Would I do that? Look at all these people. And then COVID kind of dissipated, and luckily everybody got to get out and travel again. This year's like, Where's everybody on
where are the
Labor
people
Day?
at?
So
Yeah.
we might be starting a little later this year, get more people at the kickoff. But it is great to have that. And then the LISD houses, of course, when they come out, we love that. That gives us, great opportunities for other volunteers to finish building them out. So that's exciting. And then we also are starting other projects. We're getting some funding going, I think, to be doing some houses in other areas of Lubbock, starting to do some partnerships for repairs and just projects like that. As people want us to acquire land and give us opportunities to do that, we're going to try to do it. We really feel like God opens these doors through people, and we never say no unless we have to.
Right.
So far, we just haven't said no. It's getting very exciting.
Right. Well, let's talk a little bit about our partnership. So for you guys that are out there that might be thinking about, doing this kind of same thing in their district.
Yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit because I was a construction teacher for the last 8 years. So I'll talk a little bit about what that looks like on our side, on the
Right.
ISD side, and then you talk a little bit about what that looks like on you guys' side. So for us, of course, Habitat for Humanity actually still owns the house. You guys pull the permits, all that stuff. They provide the plans for us, and then our students actually build it. So you guys provide the material, as you said earlier. You secure the funding for it. Hopefully, we can help out in different areas of that as well. But for the most part, our side is the labor side,
Right.
and so our students do everything from analyzing the plans, doing a cost estimate. We have them go through and figure out how much lumber they would need for the house. They go in and build the foundation and subfloor. We're actually the only house in Lubbock city limits that the city will let be built as a pier and beam house to be moved, which is kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's because they really value what we're doing.
Yeah.
So that's super cool. They learn how to lay out and build the walls and stand them up. And then we do both conventional framing and truss framing. So we alternate every year so that the students will get to see both sides of it. At the end of the year, our first year are actually the ones that completely build the house, right? And so they do really the shell. And so at the end of the year, the sheeting will be on, windows will be in, exterior doors will be in, and the roof will be on. So the thing will be dried in, basically. Second year students will come in the next year on that same house. So basically, we keep one house over a period of 2 years. Second year students will come in and they'll actually finish out the inside. So we also have an electrical and plumbing program here. They do the rough-in plumbing and electrical, and so that's all happened. We've started HVAC this year, so hopefully we're going to get to do that as well, which we're super excited about that. Then after all our inspections, we do the insulation, we do the drywall, tape, bed, and texture. We'll do the interior doors, interior trim work, and then design and build the kitchen cabinets. And so when they leave us, it's not completely finished for reasons, like you said earlier. Homeowners have to do some work on there, but it's reasonably finished after that 2-year period of time. And the students, especially if they stay in the program for 2 years,
Right.
have really seen that project from start to finish, from an empty parking lot to a house that's relatively livable and ready to move.
And whenever, like, it was years ago, but even because I teach IT, so I teach computer maintenance networking, and so my kids would go out there and actually network the house for, Cat 5e and for coax for TV, and we haven't done it in a few years, and I think it's just we just hadn't
I don't know
really
why.
talked about
We
it.
need to
Yeah,
get back to it,
I want to get back to it because it's a great. My kids love it because they get to drill holes in the wood and they get to drop them down, but they have to follow the plans.
Right.
And that's been the biggest thing because we don't really get a chance to follow plans. In my lab, we do some scenarios where we drill holes in walls and whatnot, but actually putting it in a house that somebody's going to live in, the kids really do see value in that, and they really get that new construction experience. And it's been several years since we've done it. I guess it's before COVID.
And, talk about a collaborative effort. We highlight a lot of times the collaboration that we have between us and Habitat, but just the programs here. I mean, our electrical kids are out there doing their rough-in. Our plumbing kids are out there doing their rough-in. You guys doing, computer networking.
Mm-hmm.
We even have, for one, it's like the showcase of this facility. Anytime anybody comes to tour, we're like, hey, let's take you out to check out the house.
Yeah, and
So
every
it's
time we go out there, they're like, "Oh my gosh, you built
Yeah,
a house out
wait,
here?" I go, "Yeah, it's the
like-
house I'm living in."
A real house? We thought it was like a tiny house.
Awesome.
No, it's not a tiny house. For those of you guys that don't know, it's a 1,200 square foot, 3-bedroom house. So it's a real deal.
Yeah.
It's not just some little tiny house that you see
Yeah.
on Tiny House Nation or anything like that. But even beyond that, we'll have our law enforcement students out there practicing building clearing,
Yeah.
right? So it's not unusual for them to be out there at night doing different things. Or our EMT guys will be out there with a wall laid over on a dummy and practicing, evacuate. I mean, we just use that partnership for everything, and it means so much to Lubbock ISD. It means so much to this facility here.
Yeah.
But I there's no end to the gains that we get from that. So
And it's really cool to see, you're talking about, building clearing stuff. That's something that's happened in recent years.
Yeah.
And it's things that we're sitting there thinking about. It's like, we have a house out back. Why don't we just use that?
Right.
And they run through it. Like, and I think one of the EMT teachers, they had like the bathtub was in, and they actually, getting somebody out of the bathtub and how to, for EMT and stuff. It's really cool. I mean, it's an experience that a lot of kids don't get. And it's all because we're building a house for people that need it and need. So
we recently even had Dr. Derek Wade at Texas Tech School of Architecture brought a bunch of his students out because they were in the process of drawing some houses, and he was like, I can't get them to really grasp the concept of the way that these wires and these pipes were going through the plates and all those things. He's like, can I bring them out and look? And I'm, heck yeah, bring them on. And it was just, they were amazed. They were like, oh my gosh, this is what, this looks like, this drawing that they've been working on forever. To actually physically see, when a wire goes through, or I know they were talking about the nail plates over wires and plumbing and things like that. All those little things that as builders we just take for granted. As architects, they're going, okay, this is really cool. So yeah, the partnerships are never ending for that whole thing. So
Great.
talk to us about how this partnership has worked on your side. I mean, this can't be the easiest thing in the world, working for a school district, working with a school district. So talk to me about the Habitat side on this.
Well, we feel very blessed, and it has been great. Y'all are great to work with, and I know that for a while, every Habitat goes through seasons, and for a while, the LISD houses were about the only houses Habitat had going. We've been lucky to start the Blitz back and get some other slab up houses going too, but y'all have always been there, keeping Habitat going when at times when Habitat needed it. So that's really a blessing. But now I think it's very exciting to see like kids getting into construction because it's kind of a crisis. We're aware of that. We need young people to want to be plumbers and electricians. It's very hard to get subcontractors. We really battle that. We have a few good regulars now, so we're trying to keep them happy and keep them on board with us because it's hard to get people to do new residential construction in terms of plumbing, sometimes especially. And so I think a lot of kids, college is great, but it's gotten very expensive. Many people can't just get a job out when they get out of college. They have to pay back all their loans. It's maybe not even cost effective. Some people call it the college scam, and I'd hate that. I mean, my children have gotten college degrees, but it's not for everybody. So we need to really promote the fact that there are so many careers out there that are great and they're needed. A lot of homeowners' kids could go into these fields and construction. There's so many areas you could go into. So if kids get involved in construction, they might realize, wow, I could do this, or I could be, a concrete person, or I could be a bricklayer. And these are great skills. And you could start a company and be an entrepreneur. And there are just so many ways people could go into it. And we need that as builders. We need that for the future. And we just think it's great. And kids are not going to know what it's really like till they do it hands-on.
For sure.
So we love it. The only thing that's hard, I think, is raising the money. Yep. And that's gotten harder and harder because, unfortunately, since COVID especially, everything costs twice as much. Yeah. And I don't know, do you guys think people are going to charge less? Right. I don't think they like to go in the other direction once they're like, we can make this money. I don't blame anybody for that, but it just is a hard situation. So I think continuing to find ways to work together to raise more money in any school district or any habitat that wants to start a program like this is just finding ways to get the funding and trying to maybe think of that ahead of time and just really working on that because you just definitely have to cover the cost of the actual supplies and it's great to have the labor. Also, moving houses has gotten more expensive. We have a great group doing it now, but they have to charge what they charge, and so that's a cost. So they're just it's important to do the budget. It's important to try to cover all those costs, and always working on that. That's the biggest. Everything else is just like a dream, really.
Yeah.
Christy, she's kind of selling herself short, but I appreciate you giving us credit for keeping things going. But the success of Habitat over the last several years have been directly related to you coming and being a part of this. And so, yeah, there were some slow times, but you have taken Habitat in Lubbock to a whole different level. And just being a part of that partnership, seeing how the organization has grown under your leadership, tremendous. So.
Oh, well, you are too sweet. We're Christian based, so all I do is pray, and my office is a shrine to Jesus. So we put God in charge, and we try to get out of his way. So thank you. But I really do think I think God wants all these things to happen. I think, anytime you have kids trying to learn great skills so they can have a career, so they can provide for their families, have a future for themselves, build things. Jesus was a carpenter. I think that's a wonderful thing. And then Habitat's just trying to give everybody a decent place to live. That's a great thing. So when you put the two great things together, I think we'll be blessed. And I really think it's great to do the podcast. It's great to be out talking about this program more. Definitely. I think if people really understand what it is, they will find the funding. For sure. Because we don't want to go back to building storage sheds or dog houses. We love those. And our homeowners desperately need storage sheds. So, somebody give us some of those. And we do want to build those too. We could build them all. But building houses is really the biggest thing. And we just love it. And so we want it to absolutely continue for decades to come. And we just, we always want more money. So as much as we've done, we want to do twice as much. So
that's awesome. Been amazing. We've even had a lot of our students. I know last year, our plumbing students went out on site to help hook everything up. After it had already left our facility and gone out there, and there was a plumbing contractor there that was the responsible contractor. They ended up hiring one of our kids because they just were so impressed with the way our students were working out there. So again, that collaboration is just so beneficial.
One of the coolest things from that with the plumbers, I just remember the pictures of the kids afterwards, after they put in a toilet and they're like posing with the toilet, and then they put in a sink and they're posing with the sink. They were so proud of what they were doing. It was honestly one of the greatest things I've ever seen. And these kids they came back, they were dirty. Oh, yeah. They had stickers in them. Oh, yeah. And then they come back and they are smiling ear to ear saying that was awesome. And it's all because of the partnership, but it gives these kids that chance to see what the real world's like. Mm-hmm. and they're doing something for good. And I love it. I mean, that was cool. I forgot about that.
The principal here in the building went out to see as they were out there working. And she tells the story everywhere she goes. It's like I walked in and the first one said, "Miss, come look at this toilet I just installed." But they were just
a toilet is essential, and that's a very important part of the house. But I think that's been the funnest thing to raise money and try to raise awareness for Lubbock Habitat for Humanity is because you're building tangible things that people can see and neighborhoods. Like there was one house, I think, when I came and maybe two on the block, and now there's we're on the 2nd Street of the subdivision, and that's just very exciting. It's very exciting for our construction staff. We have she was a 23-year-old framer, Brittany Morgan, who's really built the majority of the houses since I've been here, and now she has her coordinator, Tyler Doan, who just graduated from Texas Tech, and I mean, it's just such a huge accomplishment in their young lives to be able to look and say, we were a part of building these houses along with volunteers and students and homeowners themselves. It's just, I really think and the homes give people stability and security, and it changes lives. But also the other part of the mission, the community. Mm-hmm. We are building in East Lubbock and in just socioeconomically challenged areas. Mm-hmm. So it's really great for students and volunteers and people to be working in these areas alongside potential homeowners or future homeowners, because these are places they may never have been before in Lubbock. They don't even know these areas exist, and they may never have seen the lives of a lot of really hardworking people and what they have to go through to get a house, and it really changes them. And then the homeowners, it changes them to realize strangers are giving up their time to just help them get a house. They've never received love like that. And
who does that?
Yeah, who does that? And they're skeptical, and they're like, what is the angle? What are you doing? Like, what are you really up to, Habitat? We're like, oh, we just love you, and we want you to have this opportunity. You have to work, but if you're willing to do the program, we want you to be in this house forever. And so it's just really builds community, and we really need these rooftops in East Lubbock and these areas where we're building it. We need economic development. We need revitalization. And we need to all be working together to build relationships. So that's a great way that, God blesses this program. And then the last part of the mission is the hope. I mean, just for people just to think, they never think they're going to be able to own a house. No one in their family's ever owned a house for many of these homeowners. And to give them that hope and just give them this opportunity. And the students at LISD in this program are helping provide that opportunity. It's a generational change and a shift in the lives of these families. And they're a part of that in high school. That's a huge thing. Yeah. So it's just crazy.
Let's talk about when that whole thing comes together. So Lubbock ISD's done their part, Habitat's done their part. What happens when we turn the keys over? What does that look like?
Well, the home dedications are my very favorite, and that was the very first day I started with Habitat. I got to go to one. I didn't have anything to do with that house. I was just blessed. That was just happened to be my first day, and of course, I had to cry a lot. It's just emotional. The homeowners are asked to invite all of their friends and family, their church, anybody, their coworkers, anybody that they want to be a part of this special day. And then we invite anybody who helped build the house that we can think of, anybody who sponsored it, donors, and we love and subcontractors even, for everyone that was a part of the house to come and be at the house. And everybody speaks, the homeowners get to speak, and the volunteers can speak. The sponsors are recognized. And then we do a really cool ceremony. We present bread, and we present wine that's not real, and just different, it's like a little ceremony that's very meaningful. We give them a Bible. We give them a toolbox for their house, and each symbol, each item has symbolic meaning. And then the homeowner, speaks from the heart. Usually everybody cries. And it's just the realization of a dream for most people that they never, ever thought they would achieve. And the parents of the homeowners, because a lot of the homeowners are so young. So their parents are really young. And they just cry the hardest. They cannot even believe this is happening for their children. They could never achieve this, and their children are achieving it. And then their kids, they're going to have a room, Some of them have lived in their cars. Some of them have lived in a garage with no locks, staying with relatives, or living in really bad, rental housing that's not safe or clean, and going from place to place, and they're going to have a room. It's just the best day. It's what it's all about. It's what we work for. So we love those days.
Super cool. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So if let's just say there's a school district out there in Pflugerville or wherever, and they're like, you know what, I really think this would be a cool partnership for us, where should they start?
Well, I guess they just need to form a partnership. We do a lot of MOUs. That's an easy way to do it when we form partnerships, but it's whatever that school district requires. So I guess you just start meeting and talking. I think if they wanted to look at a program like Lubbock, that's great to see a model. I know Bryan College Station has started one, and people in Texas have been doing it. And I think a lot of people are really interested. You just have to kind of come together and decide who's going to be, what role everybody's going to play in the partnership. And I do think you should definitely look at the funding, long-term funding, sustainability, all of those things, working together on that. And then just how it's going to look. So this is a wonderful facility I'm sitting in. The Advanced Technology Center is incredible. Some people may have that. Some people may not. We had a school district we did a house with here, and they didn't have that really worked out. So they did bring their students out to the job site and they built a house slab up. That was a great experience, but that's, presents its own set of challenges. So you just kind of have to decide how it can work, what's feasible. Then you have to work out, all the liabilities, legalities, put everything in writing for sure, and build a great relationship, and then just maybe do a pilot. I think pilots are great, and work out the kinks and decide if you can move forward. But, this is such a long-running program. It's probably one of the most successful ones that's ever been done. But I definitely think everyone you'd ever talk to would want to do it. Why wouldn't you want to do it?
Sure. Yeah.
Nobody ever says no. They just say when and what
How.
if and how. Yeah.
The biggest is how. It's
Right.
like, so there's lots of challenges that come, legalities, and you're working with bureaucracies and
Yes.
all this stuff, and you making sure you get all the volunteers and the money and all that. It just seems daunting, and but it's doable. We've been doing it since '99. How many houses have we done so far?
I think we figured out this is our 23rd house.
Oh my goodness.
23 different houses. That's pretty amazing.
It's really exciting. It goes by really fast, too. It seems like we're always starting a new one. But I think you just, make a strategic plan, work together, and just break it down into steps.
Yeah.
And maybe make realistic goals for the first year and just work out kinks, like I said, with a pilot, and then kind of learn and grow from there. But I definitely think all the programs that you do in this facility are incredible. It's just that hands-on experience. And I work with a lot of interns. We love interns from Texas Tech and LCU at Habitat. But I'm passionate. I've always had interns throughout my career, everywhere I've been, and I was an intern back in school, because you just think you know what you want to do.
Right.
Until you really do it. And it's a win-win. So maybe somebody participates in your program and they're like, I actually hate this. But I think I see this person on the other side doing that. Maybe I'd want to do that. It's just going to give them a real hands-on, real-world experience, and they need that, because it's better to find out. And if you can find out in high school, that's so good. You don't waste years of your life going down a path when you're meant to go down another path. Yeah. So I think all the programs that give kids hands-on experience are wonderful. And then they may go on to get degrees. Sure. They may start out doing this program, get into construction, and they may want to go ahead and be an architect. Sure. And, people go to school at all ages now, but I just think the younger people get hands-on learning. It's so good. Because you really don't know until you do it.
Right.
That's right.
Yeah. The biggest thing I've seen from it is it's that, they can look at that and say, I did that.
Yeah.
And I've seen that with lots of my kids, and the kids that come through the construction program here, they look at it and they're like, I did that. That was me. Kind of like the kid with the toilet posing with it. Right. I did that. It's really cool to see. It's just a cool thing to see. And it really is. It's good because it gives these kids, like, I could do this as a living, and you can make good money doing these things.
And that's a great point. I really don't think people realize how much it pays and how desperate people are for good help and how wonderful it can be as a career. And so I think just exposing kids to all the different, not only construction, but all the things that this facility represents, that these, and like I said, these are the jobs we have to have in our country. Right. And they are essential. And I love that word, essential. Now I've really gotten into that, because it's just, I don't know that we all ever really thought about how important all of these things are.
Yeah.
And, we never quit building during COVID.
Sure.
Because the homeowners never quit working, because their jobs were in demand and they had to have their paychecks. So we had to keep going, and we survived. And I think that's great. And that's the thing. Construction just keeps going.
That's right.
You keep building things.
Especially in this area. It's huge. So, what does the future of Habitat look like in Lubbock?
Well, that is up to God. Like I said, we don't say no, but I, of course, want to build out our Talkington subdivision, and we're building out that first street. We got infrastructure money from the city of Lubbock. We love the city of Lubbock. They've been so good to Habitat, especially lately. Thank you so much to the city and all the support. Everybody supports Habitat. But we want to build out our subdivision as quickly as we can. And then we want to embrace this Heart of Lubbock project if we can. We want to help First Baptist Church is building houses behind their church. We're trying to help them with that project. It's called Serve Lubbock, a new nonprofit that started out of that church to build out those houses with Jerry Ramirez, who's fantastic. We also have some other lots in Lubbock, some other land that we want to build houses on near MLK by the Sonic. So there's like multiple job sites we're looking at while we keep doing this program. And so that's what we're doing right now. And we really want to keep helping veterans. We did that last year. And there's a huge need to help our veterans. And they absolutely deserve a decent place to live. And how could anyone in Lubbock not want that to happen? So those are all the things that we're doing. And we're never going to stop. Nothing stops Habitat. We just need more money, more money, more money. And guess what's going on now? It's Giving Tuesday.
It is Giving
They start
Tuesday.
before Giving Tuesday. Why not start November 1st? So everybody should just listen on, and then they just need to go to the Giving Tuesday WTX website that's local and find our logo and click on that and give us all your money right now. And that will help fund this program and all our houses, because that really is all it takes. A little time, a little money. If everybody gives, we can do all of these great things that everybody wants us to be doing.
So if there are, today's Giving Tuesday, but if they want to give any other time or donate or anything, how do they do that?
LubbockHabitat.org.
Let's go there.
Text to donate, anything they want. Restore. So we do have a restore, and that is on 50th Street, 3630 50th. We're across from Home Base Sutherland's, next to the bowling alley, Whitewood Lanes. And that is open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 6. So we want you to donate your gently used furniture and building supplies and clothes and shoes and anything that doesn't have bed bugs. We want it. And then we want you to shop there. And we have new rugs, new paint. All that money goes to fund Habitat. We also do a gala called Hard Hats and Heels in June. It's going to be June 8th at the Ranching Heritage Center. It's a construction-themed party. Hello, how fun is that? Get your tickets early. We've got Hub City Drifters playing this year. It's super fun, very casual. Men don't have to dress up. And that's a great way to give money and have a good night. It's our gala. And so all those ways they can support Habitat year-round. And volunteering, same thing. Just go to LubbockHabitat.org, call me, text me, come to the Restore. My office is behind the front desk. Come on in, sign up, and call Randall, and we'll plug you in. We do construction all the time, and we always have a project. We need help in the Restore. We really never turn anybody down. We will always build things. And we'll build some dog houses and sell them in the Restore. Why not?
Right?
We love to build things.
I think that's one of the things we forget. It's it's easy to talk about the funding, but there are businesses and groups all over that are looking for places to serve. And so, I'm thinking of youth groups, all kinds of different people. And you always have something going on. And I know Brittany and Tyler both are just so amazing about working with volunteers. And I can tell you, building things with people that don't know what they're doing, as somebody that taught high school kids for 8 years, it's exciting.
Yeah, right.
It's super exciting.
Yeah.
But that's another opportunity where they can get in contact with you guys. And like you said, it doesn't matter if you have 2 folks that want to come build, or 20 or 50. You guys will find a place for them, which I think is just super cool.
Yeah, there's all kinds of DIY things, and it's just always something. And then also our next big build event is MLK Day. That's become a huge day of service in the East Lubbock community, and we've been blessed that the Texas Tech Athletic Department really supports it. And usually we get the Red Raiders out. We really love Joey McGuire. He comes himself, and his team usually comes, and lots of Tech athletes and others in the community are coming. I think UMC is trying to get a group together. So we want the whole town, and there are all kinds of things going on in East Lubbock. The Roots Museum, a lot of people need help, but we sure would love you to come think about Habitat or any of those great organizations helping us out that day. It's a Monday, it's a holiday, but it's a great way to serve and honor the memory of Dr. King and all he stood for, and all we're trying to do to really promote racial equality in Lubbock and build back East Lubbock to the greatest place in Lubbock. It is the most beautiful place in Lubbock. Everybody should do the turkey trot and go see East Lubbock on Thanksgiving. But that's our next big day. And Reliant Energy has come on board as a signature sponsor now. Nice. So we're so excited to be working with them, and very blessed. So that's the next big day to look forward to if people want to just plan to come out 8 to 5 Just show up, build a house. Super
Just
fun. We're
show
going to build
up.
some fences.
Nice.
Well, Christy, thank you for being a part of our podcast today, but more importantly, thank you for everything that you're doing. You talk about the folks that really make an impact and a difference in Lubbock, and you're one of them. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Randall. Y'all are awesome. Keep doing what you're doing. You've made it hugely successful and easy.
Well, yeah, we appreciate you and all your time and everything you do for the people that need homes and working with us and getting our kids a chance to do all that. And we can never pay you back for all that. And
Well, I can't
appreciate it.
believe you do IT. We just thought construction was hard, Randall. IT's real hard.
Oh, yeah.
I'm scared of those computers.
Yeah, I'm going to pass.
You're special.
Yeah, thank you for being here, and we appreciate y'all watching, and y'all have a great day.
Thanks, guys.